Okay, I think at any second now we're going to start live streaming. Last time we started way before it actually acted like we were starting. Okay, we're live. We're live on YouTube. I am here with Ill Bill. Thanks so much for being here, Bill.
Hello, hello, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And we've got DJ Eclipse with us.
Hello.
Great to see you. And DJ Eclipse, you were just telling me you've got a radio show tonight. Is that right? On Sirius XM?
This is correct. Yes, Shade 45 on Sirius XM every Sunday from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern time. So just doing my last minute prep to get that together for tonight. But yeah, that's it.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of that to be here. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
That's great. And so we're talking about music NFTs. We're talking about Ill Bill's music NFT. And, he's got that one right now where there's an auction ending just a few hours after this broadcast. And that is the song War Is My Destiny. And that is an amazing song featuring Immortal Technique and Max Cavalera of Sepultura. So it's a pretty intense song, I have to say. And we're definitely going to want to talk about that. But yeah, so you guys work together. What's the deal here?
Oh yeah, we've been working together for since the '90s. I want to say 25 years. So literally 25 years.
Who, me and him?
Yeah,
So you guys go way back. That's awesome.
yeah, man.
Well, how many tracks have you guys done together then?
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah, hundreds.
Everything passes through our hands, so it's we're joined at the hip, as they say.
Wow, very cool. Awesome. Wow. So yeah, you've been working together since the 90s. I mean, obviously, Ill Bill's a hip hop legend, so you're part of that legacy. You're a legend yourself. And it's great to have both you guys here to talk about this. And I mean, if we talk about the music NFT, it's like a whole new era. What's it like for you guys, having been in the business so long, to have this new thing show up? I was wondering about that for people who really, have had success in the music business and have built a huge career. And then all of a sudden this new thing comes along that, for someone who's new like me, it's a big opportunity. And I'm like, oh, maybe I can finally make some money. But what's that like from your perspective, as a big successful artist when this comes along?
I think it's really cool. I think it's a new format. It's kind of it can be kind of compared. It's universal, and there's more to it than it just being another format like CDs and vinyl and cassettes. But we could just start out with just the fact that it's a new format and build on that alone for 5 hours or more.
That's for sure. I mean? That's for sure.
But yeah, if you want to just look at it just as a new format, it's a new way for artists to deliver content. And it's an interesting way to deliver it because of the blockchain technology and the fact that you're able to mint this format, whereas it's not a thing where you have to physically press vinyl. And so it's very cost effective compared to all the other formats.
Right.
And especially the way we're doing it on Ghost Market with Phantasma. It's very cheap, very, very cheap compared to the Ethereum method. And that is because of, you want to explain that, Jesse? With the
sure,
reason for that, the technical reason why? Well, I have to say, I'm still learning, and Jesse has been a very good guide as far as the ins and outs of NFT, and I want to big you up for putting me on to a lot of cool information, and I appreciate that, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate having you here, and I mean, it's just been a real honor and a pleasure and a joy to work with you, and I mean, I just I feel so proud and so honored to own some of your NFTs, and I mean, it's a wonderful new thing, and I'm so glad that you're here experiencing it with us. And yeah, I mean, I feel like, for me at least, it's a huge life-changing thing, but it also, it has some pitfalls, and a lot of people have had a bad time, especially little artists. They come in and they spend a bunch of money to mint or whatever, and they don't make a bunch of money. And so, I'm always like kind of thinking about the little guy, you know, and the fact that there's like 40,000 songs a day uploaded to Spotify and most of them never get heard and all that stuff, right? And so if I tell like thousands of people to go spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you know, to mint your music NFT, I might be, you know, doing something bad, right? To
Well,
an
the thing
industry
is,
that's really suffering. But
we're at an early stage right now. That's the thing. You know, we're at a very, very early stage. So whoever's watching this right now and it has tapped into the NFT space at this point uh, should pat themselves on the back, give themselves a pound, and be excited because this is really just the very beginning. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are finding out about NFTs because of all these stories right now going around about $1 million auctions and NFTs selling for $70 million and the like. And the thing is, as NFTs evolve and more people find out about them, and the customer base increases, and more people own NFTs, more people know what NFTs are. Uh, I think that a scene is going to develop around it because to me, NFTs, especially music NFTs, are very similar to the concept of collecting baseball cards and collecting comic books, or even more to pinpoint it on a music point of view, like collecting vinyl albums. And I mean, like, if you're involved in the vinyl scene, and I know a lot of my fans collect vinyl and buy a lot of independent hip hop vinyl, um, it's turned into almost like for better or for worse, it's good. There's good points to it, and there's positives and negatives to the reseller market. And me and you and Eclipse both have sold a lot of stuff on eBay over the years, and we've partaken in that. So there's pros and cons of it, but what's going on right now is there's a big reseller market in the independent hip hop vinyl market where albums are being sold for retail $30. 300 albums are being sold within minutes. Some of these labels are doing that well. And I mean, even if they don't sell out in minutes, they sell out in no time, maybe a week or two. And then you see those same albums on sale on eBay for $100, sometimes $200, $300. And the collector's market is so robust right now that kids trade. It's beyond just spending $300 for a record. You're not really spending $300 for a record if you have a record you paid $30 for that's valued at $300, and you can trade it with somebody and you have a couple of copies. And
absolutely.
I can see the same thing happening with NFTs where let's say the Immortal Technique Ill Bill Max Cavalera NFT that just dropped. We could potentially sell that, let's just say, for argument's sake, just to keep it simple, $100, whatever the equivalent of $100 is in Sol, which is about 200 Sol going in
You shouldn't
Sol
say
coin.
that with your auction endings, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna experiment. I mean, the whole thing is right now, this is just it's everything we're doing right with NFT right now is an experiment because we're trying to figure out what the market is.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
thing is, if everybody puts their NFTs up for sale for $5,000 a piece, no one's going to sell shit. You know, it's just that's the reality
yeah,
of it. I mean, we all
it's
want to get
possible.
rich overnight, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about
I mean, if you look at Beeple, even his first works didn't sell for very much, and a lot of times he starts them at $1 or something. I have one video on my channel where I tried to get a Beeple when it was like early in his career, and you know they were selling 100 for $1, and I totally got wrecked. I
I
did
mean, he's
not get
been
one for a
around for
dollar.
20 years, if I'm correct. He's been around
Oh
forever.
yeah,
So
he's been a huge digital artist for a long time. He's been building a career forever, but so have you, obviously. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, just his NFT career, obviously, you know, it didn't start off with $1 million sales or anything like that. Absolutely. And
yeah, and I just think that it could really, really explode and be a true additional revenue stream for artists, especially indie artists that own their own masters, that have full control over their catalog and their licensing rights. Just they basically have full control over their music. You can do anything you want, and that creates a really good possibility for fans, because the thing is, an NFT could contain almost any kind of content. So in theory, you could just throw up an NFT that contains a song and a cover and that. And what I mean by a song is a WAV file or an MP3 file, and mint that, and that would be an NFT. I think that as an artist, I think that is cool for what it is. But I think the next level is to include a video, making a video, a live performance of the same song,
Yes.
unreleased artwork, lyrics, possibly as handwritten lyrics. I mean,
Well, we want to hear about all the different extras that you put in your NFT. I mean, that's definitely something. Maybe we should save that because I feel like that's the big reveal. Because I mean, you were telling me you know you spent how many like days, right? Just finding all these things for this, right?
yeah. Well, what I ended up doing was we hold on to all our content. We're pretty good with that, and we've got tons of hard drives full of unreleased songs, um, uh, making of footage, behind the scenes of video shoots, tour footage, and all this footage that might have been previewed on social media here and there, little snippets, might not have. I'd say a majority hasn't. I mean, me and Eclipse have about 3 Jordan boxes full of DV tapes from the last 20 years with
Wow.
footage that no one's ever seen. And we noticed that the market for DVDs has died over the last 10 years, putting out
Yeah.
music DVD, band DVDs and music DVDs. But we also noticed how NBA Top Shots is exploding. And for those that know about that, that's like the NFT equivalent to basketball cards, where they're actually auctioning off and selling 15-second, 10-second clips of LeBron dunking on people, and all that's going to expand and it's going to explode. It's going to be the biggest thing. You're going to have Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear being sold as an NFT for $1
Mhm.
million. And I'm just saying, if that isn't in the works already, I want my cut, because that's something that people are going to want,
Oh yeah.
if they're going to want to own it. And the reason why it's valuable, as opposed to just going on Sports Center's YouTube and ripping a video, the same exact video, is because of the smart contract and the ability to assign scarcity to the minted digital asset. See, I'm learning,
Exactly.
Jesse.
You really are, man. Wow. Yeah. I remember a couple of weeks ago and you're just like, I don't know anything about NFTs. Now you're educating the world. This is awesome. And I have to
I'm
say,
trying.
Bill, what you're doing, give yourself some credit, is way cooler than NBA Top Shots, because I actually use that as like an example of where we don't want to go, because that's like centralized, that's just, a bunch of money mostly going to the NBA. I mean, it's hard to feel bad for basketball players who are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars and all that. But, something
Mhm.
where the artists own it, like you were talking about earlier, like you own your own wallet, you created this NFT yourself on your computer, and no one can ever create another one. That's the scarcity you were talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
And so
And
like,
and and what
oh,
I
so-
mean by what I meant by bringing up Top Shots is just that artists can actually do their own version of that, except
exactly.
themselves. I mean,
Mhm.
every artist has career highlights. Every artist has behind the scenes stuff happening in the studio that uh, the heads want to know. The people want to know. Like I'm a Nas fan. I want to know uh, if he has a couple of DV tapes in the stash during the creation of Illmatic, or it was written, or whatever. I mean, even if it doesn't, somebody has stuff, and it people want to see content. I mean, content is king right now. People try to fit artists, companies, whether it be artists empowering themselves or corporate creeps trying to come swoop in, which they will.
Oh yeah.
And it is what it is. But I think that, hip hop artists in general, because we come from the hip hop world, but music, when I say is music artists in general can actually monetize their own videos and monetize their own version of Top Shots. You know, whether it be a clip in the studio with an artist that they've never worked with before, or just highlights. Think about the monetization of your Instagram page. It's
That's right.
possible with
Yeah.
NFTs.
Yeah, my wife was just saying that she's been taking all this footage or whatever, she wants to document like the rise of the music NFT and all this. And she's like, I feel like I shouldn't even be posting this on Instagram. All this content, I should be minting it as an NFT. Like it should be the new social media. Like if I take a video of me, why just give it to Instagram or Facebook to add value to that platform when I can do it myself, as an NFT, and then maybe the fans can make money on it or whatever. And the idea is that, everyone can enjoy it, but only one person can own it. So it is in a way a form of social media, right? Because you're not hiding things away unless they're, the locked content. But the song itself, or, the main thing, that we give away for free. I mean, that's sort of where, my idea for the music NFT came up started with it, right? Is the fact that we give our music away now. We don't get paid for it, for people to enjoy it for the most part. And like you were saying, nobody buys DVDs. Well, nobody buys CDs either. I mean, a lot of people don't even make CDs or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a renaissance, and I'm so glad that you're a part of it because, just me saying it, that means nothing. I'm just some guy, right? But when Ill Bill says it, that's something. And I feel like, you being responsible and promoting a platform that is accessible to everybody, we got to think about who we're talking to when we talk to the music industry. These are people that, have always, I mean, the last 20 years suffered under the internet age. The very first thing the internet did was, take the value out of music with Napster. And I feel like finally, maybe the internet will put things right a little bit and all that. Maybe I could ask you about that, Eclipse. You got all those records back there. Do you remember Napster and when that
Absolutely.
started? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that affect you as someone in the music industry at that time?
Well, we always looked at it as, the gift and the curse, because when nonfiction was first kind of coming out, that was like right when Napster was really popping. And so what it did to help us actually was get a whole wider audience to get eyes on nonfiction that might not have heard of our music before by file sharing through Napster. So that was the plus side. And then obviously the downside is the fact that, our music is being shared for free and we're not seeing money off of it. And that's kind of how I still look at it now, even with the NFTs, where it's like, I still feel like, we need to do our regular rollouts and, promotion and marketing on all of our regular platforms to let the world know, what's going on and to release our music. But then what we do within the NFT world is do like alternate versions of some of the stuff that we put out to the world, or special versions that you kind of allow for the diehards that really want to be, get a piece of what you do. For example, when we go on tour, a lot of times, in addition to just selling a ticket to the concert, we offer meet and greet packages. And those are for the people that, really want the opportunity to meet the group. We spend some time with them talking about things. Sometimes it includes like a t-shirt in the package. We give them bonuses. That's basically an NFT. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the concept of what we're going with the NFTs now for music. Is we want to take stuff that maybe we have put out before, but bundle it with bonuses that the average person isn't getting. And so if you are a diehard fan of Bill or any artist, you have the opportunity of actually owning the whole bundle of all this extra content. And like Bill said, there's so much extra content that we have just from over the years of just sitting on stuff. And it's just, it's right now, it's just growing the market within the NFT world, I think is, where we need to focus on, because we have the content. Now we have to get the market ready for the music NFTs and get all of our hip hop fans kind of over to that side, so they have the option as well to own this stuff along with the regular releases that come out.
Absolutely, to add on to that, sorry Jesse, add on to that, there's so many ways to build your NFT. It doesn't have to necessarily be 20 files of content and 20 different videos and stuff like that. It's all about it's sometimes it's quality over quantity, and it could be a thing where what I did, for example, with the first NFT we released, which is a one of one, which is
Mhm.
kind of playing off of what Wu-Tang did with their album.
And I own that one.
Once upon a time in Shaolin, I think it was called.
Yes, yes.
And you know, the concept of a song as a painting. And I think that's a very interesting thing to do. And I want to release NFTs like that as well.
Mhm.
I just think it's very cool to think about the idea of Run the Jewels releasing a one of one 5 times a year, you know, and not to say that there isn't that intrigue of, well, shit, I want to hear that song too, you know what I mean? But that's what makes it even cooler, I think. And I think there's ways for people to actually hear the song, you know, at some point. And the beautiful thing is there's a royalty built into NFTs
Mhm.
that the artist sets when you mint your NFT. So, for example, uh, the one of one NFT that sold in auction on Ghost Market for 15,000 Sol to you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's a lot of money now, isn't it? It's more than it was.
it
Yeah.
is, but I noticed that you're now attempting to resell it
I sure
for,
am.
and I don't blame you, for
That's right.
3 times the price or more,
Yeah, a little bit
50,000.
more.
And
Let's just put in a
want to
plug right now.
explain?
If you ever want to hear that song, you gotta go through me now, because I am the owner of a one of one. Silk Road is the name of the song, featuring Lord Goat with Ill Bill. You got to get it from me. It's a one of one, right? That's the whole
And
idea here.
if you sell it though, I receive 10% of the
That's right.
sale.
That's right. As you should. That's awesome. I mean, this is all about, making artists have a sustainable income, be protected. I mean, that's the model here.
And it goes on forever. So that if the person
Right.
that pays 50,000 Sol, which is equivalent to around $20,000 right now, if you sell it to somebody, hopefully for no, oh, hopefully the person that buys it from you sells it to someone else for $1 million.
Exactly.
I get $100,000 kickback, and it just, and round it goes, and that's pretty cool. And that happens whether it's a one of one or whether it's similar to the War is My Destiny NFT, which was more of instead of being a painting, similar to releasing vinyls or releasing a limited edition pressing of cassettes or lithographs
Mhm.
if we're artists. Um, and the thing is, I noticed that artists whose paintings sell for thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, their lithographs sell for 500, $1,000. Why shouldn't an NFT potentially sell for that much? I think it can, but I do think that an unknown artist coming into the space trying to get $5,000 for their NFTs is shooting for the stars. I say shoot for the street lamps first
Yeah,
and
yeah.
build a market, build a following.
Mhm.
I think that Ghost Market's potential is incredible and huge. And I think that there's uh I know that there are other options and other platforms. I haven't really dived into them yet. I'm doing my homework right now and I'm trying to learn about
As
everything,
you should. Yeah.
you know, and I think we all should. And I think the cool thing about the community on Ghost Market right now and on Phantasma blockchain, and I've been going on the Telegram. I just found out what Telegram was like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So thanks for
That
that
is
as well,
awesome.
Jesse. Uh,
Great to
I'm
see you there.
no, I'm doing my homework, and I think that's a big thing. Gary V got me hooked, you got me hooked, and I went down a rabbit hole, bro. I watched like 30 hours of YouTube videos on NFT last weekend, and between the videos and just articles and phone calls, I've been on the phone nonstop for the past week when I haven't been on Ghost Market checking it out, and just I haven't had the time to really do my homework on other platforms, to be honest with you. But what I did notice was uh Ghost Market seems to be the most artist friendly, and there's
Yeah, I think,
definitely room
yeah.
there's room for improvement, but the thing is the improvements are coming daily. I notice it There's constant updates. And my auction, which went up last week, was the first time the auction option was used, or
Yeah,
was the first day that auctions went up. So
absolutely. No, that's a part of history. And I feel like what we're doing on Ghost Market is really different from everywhere else. I've seen so many articles lately, and people, are just getting hip to the fact that, there's all these places out there that are claiming to have NFTs, because it's not that hard to create a blockchain that's very simple and is basically just a repository for NFTs and nothing else. And so you see these places. We saw one where they claim to have like $25 million in sales, and we looked and they had like 13 users. And
mhm.
it's somebody just buying something from themselves or whatever, and
Right.
it's wash trading, and we see that again and again.
I
I
think
mean,
the
it's
biggest obstacle right now for building a bigger customer base is the fact that the average music fan, and definitely within our market, the hip hop world, most artists, most fans, they're just not into crypto yet. Crypto hasn't
right,
exploded in the mainstream yet. So the process of actually going onto Ghost Market is difficult as an artist, layman terms, not knowing anything about crypto, not knowing anything
Right.
about anything. You're not going to know how to put your stuff up. So that's something I know is in the works tutorial wise. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think, and I think eventually when Ghost Market is able to uh, accept payment via credit card and PayPal, hopefully it's soon.
oh, it's
That
coming.
would be huge. That would
Oh
be a
yeah,
huge game changer, because there's a lot of people I think would want to collect NFTs, but don't necessarily want to become crypto experts overnight. And I don't think they need to be. I don't think
exactly,
it's
yeah.
necessary.
Right.
I think if
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
collect. I think, and so I think that's something that needs to be uh fixed basically and updated. And I know it's in the process. We're
Oh
early.
yeah, no, there's sort of like three things that could help fix that. The credit card one definitely has to happen. It's in the works, but also like a mainnet token listing. That's the other thing. I mean, Sol and KCal, you can't even buy the mainnet Sol or KCal tokens on a big
Right.
exchange. And once those things happen, I mean, things are just going to, in my opinion, explode. And so it's kind of like a race to get in a little bit, because if you think about it, like the dollar amounts here might not be that crazy, but at the moment or something. But at the same time, look at what people are making. Like even when someone gets millions of dollars on Ethereum, they're getting like one or two Ethereum or something. Not one or two, but you know what I mean, like 40 or
Right.
400 or something like that. It's not a lot, but there are actually less sold than there are Ethereum. And unlike all those other blockchains that are just merely repositories for NFTs or something like that, and Ethereum doesn't really even have NFTs. They're just kind of cobbled on. We saw that with the rug pull thing, right? You can alter the metadata, and there's all these issues because it's not something that's native to the platform. Like Phantasma is built around NFTs, and so I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like it just is the future of NFTs. And once I really got into the tech, I realized like there's nobody even close, and I think this is really just where it's headed. And the idea that you can own major chunks of this real estate right now, I mean,
Right.
to me, it's incredible, right? The fact that you can own like actual like sizable percentages of the
Hmm.
entire number of coins that are out there, and with it being the future of NFTs and all of that, I believe it's somewhat inevitable. You see all these people pushing projects that are just years and years away from being where Phantasma is, and it's kind of sad actually that so much money is put into pushing things that I feel like are leading people down a very bad path. I feel there's a lot of unethical shilling that goes on to try to get people into the NFT space, and I've tried to avoid that. I tried to follow the rule of like first do no harm and all of that.
Right.
And I feel like the fact that on Phantasma you can get in, and like even the little guy who might only get $10 or $100, it doesn't have to be that all that money will go to gas fees or whatever. That will actually be profit. And not only will it be profit, but like I mean the price of Sol has more than 10x now from where I sold my music NFT. And I feel like we're just getting started. There are a lot of projects that have almost no worth in comparison to Phantasma that have run up a lot more. We're still extremely early, and as soon as some of those things happen, like a mainnet token listing or the credit card on ramp and all of those types of issues just get resolved, I really feel like the sky's the limit for where this could go, because we don't have the fees and we don't have the environmental destruction aspect either, because there's no mining. And that's just one of the many things. I mean, it's, basically the next generation blockchain after Ethereum, the next generation of Neo that is centered around NFTs, in my opinion. But yeah, I'd like to talk about that song if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I talk so much about the
no
tech,
doubt.
and every time we get together, we talk NFTs and everything. But man, I want to talk about music with you because I love your music. I love that song. It's so good.
Thanks.
And I mean, what a brilliant way to put that together with Immortal Technique and Max Cavalera. It just has so much energy. And I mean, just the title is everything. War is my destiny. I love that. And you were just telling me you recorded that in 2007. Did you guys both work on that?
Yeah, actually we did. And we got Max involved as well. Um, and it was a while ago, so it's hard to remember everything about it, but um I made the beat as well, so that's pretty cool. And I would say it's one of my most popular songs, definitely one of my most streamed songs. And being that we released a one of one, an unreleased song for the first one, we said let's try something a little different and kind of go the almost like limited edition. Instead of putting out a limited edition 7-inch vinyl of War is My Destiny, let's do a limited edition NFT and include all the extra content that people might not have seen. And shout out to More Frames, who did an incredible animated music video for the song. And we just drew from the extra stuff that we had for that. We included lyrics. Uh, the instrumental is not readily available. We kind of dropped it on a instrumental album I put out a couple of years ago, but for the most part, it's never really been readily available. We added that, and
So that's in the live content too, an instrumental version.
yes, sir.
Oh
Yep.
wow. Okay.
And
Yeah,
there's
we
also
should talk about this. Like, let's just enumerate how many pieces of locked content are in this.
I think there's 15 or 16 files. I could be maybe even
Wow.
17.
All right.
Yeah, we included the lyrics. The lyrics have never been put out there, so just stuff that hasn't been out there before, and just stuff to make it more collectible. I want the people that really dig that song to own this NFT. It's something that I imagine there was a War is My Destiny uh a collectible card. That's what this is like. It's equivalent to that. And I mean name an artist you love. I mean it could be Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. I would love to own a Marvin Gaye What's Going On a collectible card, or some kind of just it's endless. I mean, everyone from Nas to uh Raekwon the Chef to Billy Joel to Bob Marley can have NFTs. And obviously the bigger the artist, the bigger the market and potential for resale and collectability. I mean, why shouldn't there be collectibles of Bob Marley that are worth as much as a Mickey Mantle baseball card, or a Mickey Mantle signed baseball, or
Yeah, and I
you
mean,
go
this is
on and
coming
on.
directly from you as the artist. I mean, you put this together, you scoured your archives, your files, you found everything that you could related to this, right? And this wasn't just put together by some company or whatever that you don't,
No,
package somewhere or
absolutely.
whatever. No, I mean, this is
Mhm.
directly from you, from your wallet to the person who buys it.
Directly from us. And there's new artwork. I mean, it's basically like releasing a limited edition anniversary version of an album or a song. They're essentially digital box sets if you want them to be that. You can even include physical items in there that can be delivered via links, where you can, there's different, you can fill the NFT with as much information as you want. Uh, one thing that we haven't done on the first two that I think we're going to start adding to future NFTs would be uh, either a text document, or maybe even an additional piece of artwork, a page that lists all the contents of the NFT as well, uh, which isn't necessary, but still another piece to add to the package. We're even giving each NFT its own catalog numbers. So Discogs.com, for example, in theory, should list these NFTs as official releases. They list digital only releases. Therefore, this should be released. These are also digital only releases. So I'm hoping
let
to
them
see.
know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't belong to the Discogs community that updates new releases and whatnot, but apparently there's hundreds of writers and administrators that do that. So hopefully somebody's listening and you guys could update my my Discogs page.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna need a whole new category on there. NFTs.
Absolutely. Right? It's a new format. I mean, it's you know, it's the new A-track. We hope not. We hope we hope it has more life than that. But I actually see NFTs not even being called NFTs in the future. I think it's a cumbersome kind of clunky name, and maybe they'll start calling them Nifties. I don't know. It's going to take somebody way more popping than me to coin it what it's going to be called, and maybe, you know, different NFTs based off of the type of content will be called different things. This is really early, so I mean, that's what makes it so exciting, I think.
It's great to get in on the ground floor of something like this, because I feel like, you know, I mean, we are just getting started. The number of people who are coming up to me and wanting to learn about NFTs, it's ridiculous. I mean, we have just reached exponential growth. I can't even keep up with it, honestly. So 2007, man, that was a crazy time. That was back during the Bush era. What was going through your mind writing this song? I mean, there's a lot of really violent imagery, and we were all just, you know, there was so much violent imagery from the wars and the terrorism and all that stuff at that time. And I mean, you know, that was a crazy time.
Well, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, you know, as crazy a time as that was, war is not new. It's nothing new. You know, and that song was inspired by Conan, the movie.
Oh, and, wow, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any Conan
I mean,
samples in there, or maybe you shouldn't say it?
No, but just topically, if you listen to what I'm saying in my verse, it's basically the story of the Conan movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Shout out to Arnold.
I gotta listen to that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, but obviously, you know, you can compare it to everything that's going on in the world right now. It's all relative, and I think music is open to interpretation, and people are gonna get what they want out of it and see what they, you know, what they see, and that's a beautiful thing. But just so you know, that is the inspiration.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, no doubt. And actually, shout out to a doom metal sludge metal band named Saint Vitus that people might not know about, but those that really know about metal, because I'm a music dude overall, and I don't just listen to hip hop. And the title actually came from a Saint Vitus song, an old Saint Vitus song called "War Is Our Destiny." So I kind of made it "War Is My Destiny," but it was inspired by those guys. So shout out to Saint Vitus.
Wow, yeah, I'll have to go listen to that. That sounds interesting. So yeah, I actually think I have heard of that band. Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty. They're
kind of
pretty
a slower metal, right?
Yes, exactly. Very slow, heavy, from the Black Sabbath school of metal.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I've been waiting for us to get like a really like heavy band on Ghost Market. I guess Max Cavalera is the closest we have right now. Huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm you know, that's the thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next. I you know, me and Eclipse got all this soul right now we're sitting on, and you know, I want people to buy our NFTs on Ghost Market, and at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and tell people to buy my stuff, and hey, I haven't bought anything either. So I mean, it's a two-way street, and I know it's a new community, but I got to be honest, I have to find stuff that I truly like that speaks to me. I'm not just going to buy. I mean, I might as an investment. I haven't seen anything yet, but to be honest with you, I think music is new to NFTs, period. And I don't want to say I think, I know it is. I mean, if you really look around at all the platforms and marketplaces, Ghost Market is one of the few that is built like, literally built efficiently to from a financial standpoint. It's inexpensive to build to mint NFTs and build them on Ghost Market. But truth be told, there's not a lot of artists. So we need more artists to get on, not just Ghost Market in general. We need more artists to start experimenting with NFT to create a market. And there needs to be some music NFTs besides the ones I've dropped that I want to buy personally.
Yes.
Speaking for me, like,
you hear that, everyone? Ill Bill wants to buy your NFTs. You better mint those.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting for Vinny Paz to put up his first NFT so I could get in on the auction, or I could buy it. You know what I mean? Because,
Vinny, did you hear that?
So
yes.
But I mean,
I love
I'm a fan. The reason why I became a musician is because I'm a fan. And if you saw my collection of hats and action figures, comic books, you name it, kicks, I collect everything. My wife's about to throw me out of the house because I'm a hoarder. And I don't believe I'm a hoarder, but she says I'm a hoarder. And look at Eclipse's records. Clearly, the guy has a problem.
Should we have a support group right here?
But we're ready to start our NFT collections. And the thing is, there's nothing to buy yet. And the stuff that I might be interested in buying is out of my tax bracket, man.
That's what happens when you're the first, man. You're just innovating, and everyone's gonna have to follow Ill Bill now and follow his lead. And
I mean, the thing is, like, those. Did you notice MF Doom? They put some MF Doom masks up for sale, and there's one of them selling for $1 million. And I noticed they were auctioning the last one over the weekend, and I don't know what it started at, but when I got to it, it was already like $5,000. So yeah, they're selling it for Ether, but it started at like 2.5 Ether. I think it ended up selling for almost 5 Ether or something like that.
Okay.
Which is whatever that is, it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to get someone who doesn't know anything about NFTs to wrap their mind around that idea. I know about NFTs at this point, and I can't even wrap my mind around why they're going for that much.
Yeah,
I understand, I get it, but it's still, for what we're trying to do right now, I just don't think that's the model, or that's the path to go.
Yeah. I feel like we're doing something more serious, a lot of the first NFT stuff is just silly, and it's a fad. People, it's almost like Dogecoin, like purposefully doing something that's pointless, kind of a thing,
Right.
And I feel like in the music industry, we're coming in and we're taking it a little bit more seriously, right? We're creating real music releases, and there's real value here, and we're trying to hit the ground running, because art has had like years to do this. And the music NFT, when I made my first video in November of 2020, I was trying to convince people that such a thing as the music NFT could actually exist. And the existing people who had done it had, they hadn't really developed a way that it could work, because it was something like where they would give away the rights, or you could do a remix, or you could use it for this or use it for that. And that's not going to work for mass adoption, right? All those records you got behind you there, Eclipse, every single one of those has a copyright notice on it, right? Because that's how music has to work. And so, I cobbled it together, I guess, from the existing, the way that the world is structured now, right? We have YouTube, we have streaming, right? So take that component, mix that with, the NFT, because the whole idea is like one person can own it, or however many you make a copy of it for, like 25 or something, but everyone can enjoy it. Well, everyone can already enjoy it now. So we just have to add that part where only one can own it, add the scarcity component, and integrate that into everything else. And yeah, even though I felt like, wow, this is like a huge light bulb going off, I just, had this amazing idea that this is going to save the music industry. It was months before anybody took what I was saying seriously, basically. It's only been in the last maybe month and a half that I've really seen like extreme growth of actual music NFTs. And I distinguish that from an audio NFT, because I feel like prior to when I talked about the music NFT, we had audio NFTs, and that was like You know, it could be anything, and it was tracks and it was beats and it was, people would be like, oh, if you buy this, you have the right to use it in a song. And it was just this real like hodgepodge of nothing. There was not really a structure to it.
Mhm.
But now, we've turned it into something like a CD or a record at this point, and really just by putting the copyright on it, protecting our rights, and also situating it within the context of all of our releases, and taking it seriously. And I feel like we're building a future that is more sustainable, built on a more solid foundation than just like weird fads. And so, yeah, I mean, it's cool that people are getting millions of dollars because everybody wants to own a People, or everyone wants a CryptoPunk or whatever. And that's cool. I get that the art world is all about fads and taping bananas to walls or whatever, but in the music world, we're about getting the job done. We're about, getting the people on the dance floor. We have to perform. We have to get up there, and we have to like bring it every single time. And we can't just tape a banana to a wall and everyone will clap.
Right. I think it's
So,
something that me and Bill have all, spoken about since, we've started talking about NFTs, is the fact that merging, the audio with the visuals, so every time we drop something, making sure, because we're both fans of not just musical art, but visual art, so we want to make sure that the whole package is dope. And, we said that everything that we put out, the content has to be strong, so we can do different variations of, some might just be a song with the cover art, some might have the bonus package, so to speak, and some might be one of ones, and some, we're trying different avenues, but at the center of it all, it has to be good content. It has to be what we feel is something us ourselves would want to buy.
yeah. Well, this one's great. So, I mean, you've got in War Is My Destiny, you've got the video, right? The high resolution video. You've got an instrumental version.
Say that again.
Sorry. You got the instrumental version in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got all kinds of artwork. You've got the original lyrics.
Yeah, we got three videos actually. One video is the official music video. One video is the animatic version, which is kind of like the storyboard version. It's the entire video with the song, but it's almost like remember that song Aha by Aha, Take On Me, where it
I
looks like
do, yeah, it's like sketches kind of.
So imagine the War Is My Destiny, a regular animated video, but like a sketch version of it.
Oh my God.
And then there's also like a making of a 2-minute making of the War Is My Destiny video as well, that includes a lot of cool footage and storyboard art and different stuff as well. So
wow. So
three videos. Yeah, 3 videos total.
That's incredible.
I wanted to just say that being that me and Eclipse, we come from a record store background. We both worked, and Eclipse managed the Fat Beats NYC store for years. And what would be really cool, and there's so many different ways NFTs are going to be sold and how they'll evolve, but what I would love to be a part of is something similar to what happened at Fat Beats in the 90s. And I'll kind of break it down. If you look at if you remember when record stores were still around, or if you remember what a vinyl record store looks like, you walk in, the walls are lined with album covers from the floor to the ceiling. And it's pretty cool looking, especially when you have cool artwork. And a lot of the 12 inches we were selling at Fat Beats, you had the generic ones that just had the kind of label name on it, but then you had a lot of cool, when it came to the independent scene, people really went in and did cool covers, and a lot of different artists actually got their start in that scene, whether it be mine and Eclipse's group Nonfiction, whether it be LP with Company Flow, who ended up doing Run the Jewels, people might know about, or even Eminem, who his very first EP and very first music was sold at Fat Beats in the same way, a wall with a bunch of 12 inches on it. And if you look at Ghost Market, it looks like the wall at Fat Beats, except instead of there being square 12 inches on a wall, they're just square covers. And imagine there was a scene where we can't force everybody to charge the same thing for their NFTs, but I think as a scene evolves, certain customs evolve, whether it be pricing, whether it be the royalty attached to the NFTs. As of right now, it seems like everybody's putting 10%, but that could evolve. Maybe it'll evolve into 15% being the standard. Things will evolve. And although
Absolutely.
I think 10% is very fair, especially from a reseller's point of view, if you're trying to resell it and there's a 50% royalty attached to it, your incentive to buy it as a digital asset, an investment, isn't as much, because you're not going to make as much on your resale. So I think overall, to keep the resale market going and keep artists getting paid off of future sales and the market healthy and resales happening, it's best to keep the royalty low at a fair amount. And what the standard will evolve, but right now it seems 10%. But let's just say we were all on the same page. And I think it might be hard right now because there's so little artists right now doing this that there isn't a selection of music. But let's say 6 months from now, when there's 10 hip hop artists that have equivalent or greater followings, or maybe a little lesser followings than, let's say, what I have, and not just hip hop, but a few metal bands, a few jazz artists, and it turns into where there's a nice community of artists selling stuff. This could turn into a buying, selling, and trading community that sells NFTs for, let's say, $50 to $100. Same way vinyl is selling. We're selling brand new copies of albums we're releasing right now for $50 a piece. The vinyls are that expensive at this point. It's not $10 for an album on vinyl anymore. It's about $50. We could sell these NFTs for $50 to $100 and watch them explode as they're being resold. It gives it, if you sell them for a reasonable price, it gives the NFT room to grow. If you sell them immediately at $1,000 a piece, who can afford to even spend $1,000 on a baseball card or a comic book? Not the average person, but the average person can buy a brand new comic book, which costs like $5-10 now. And you notice if the comic's hot, a week later it's selling for $100, the same comic. Why can't NFTs have the same market? Why can't it be? It can.
That's great advice. I really appreciate you dropping that knowledge for people, because everyone's trying to figure out. I get those questions all the time. How should I market this? How should I do that? And I have to say, man, I don't know. We're all trying to figure this out. This is like weeks old, you know?
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, but I mean, you've got the vision and now you've got some experience. And I think, you know, that's right. Because, you know, like maybe there's a person who gets that for $50 or $100, but, you know, they're determined, they're going to hustle. They're going to, you know, make sure that they sell that for a profit, right? That benefits you because they're pushing you, they're pushing your NFT, you know? And so, I mean, it's not just that you get money, but you get fans with a financial interest in your success, because like, I mean, like if I buy an NFT from an unknown artist, maybe I can make a connection for him, or maybe I can like introduce him to a producer or something like that, where I can actually 10x or 100x my own investment. You know, I mean,
absolutely,
there's all these things that about it where, you know, you can just affect this on such a micro level that in ways that you couldn't. You know, it's a whole different environment. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be the Wild West, but I mean, I do think it is going to be like you're saying, where, you know, people are going to develop some kind of standardized thing that the average person can support. But the idea is probably, you know, as an investment to make money. And then you get all those people on board. But, you know, I mean, we also see mind-blowing returns on things. And, you know, everyone's just trying to figure out their space and what's going on. And I think, you know, right now on Phantasma, Sol is extremely precious. I mean, most of it is staked, which means it's taken out of circulation. And everybody feels, who holds it, who knows about it, is feeling like, oh my God, this is going to explode in price. Sol's going to be worth $10. And so the idea of giving away a whole bunch of it, you know, even if it might seem like a smaller dollar amount, you know, it's a little tough in a way. But I feel like we just got to work that much harder, because, you know, even if we only get a few $100, if a struggling artist is like, oh man, I only got $100, well, you didn't pay any gas fees. And that $100 is in the form of a currency where, you know, you might have just got 200 Sol. Think of what you'd have to do to get 200 Ethereum, right? And Ethereum, in my opinion, is collapsing under, you know, its own, the weight of its own burdens. I guess it can't run all of the things, and maybe someday it will scale, but for right now it doesn't. So, you know, I mean, this is the alternative for the moment. And, you know, the fact that you can get in at this point.
Me not being from a crypto background, I just see it as how do I get my NFT into the hands of the people that want them. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the point where Ghost Market and every other platform is able to solve that problem, take that out
Yeah.
of the fans' hands. It's irrelevant.
It is, yeah. It's
Uh,
like it's like weeks away. Yeah, we're struggling to build this thing, right? And we're just putting these pieces in place, and that is a huge piece. The credit card payments that needs to be there, right? But I believe it's weeks away from what I'm hearing, and
I think so, and I think
it's beautiful.
I think the crypto part of it could be a back end thing that it just doesn't need to.
Yeah, they don't need to know that you have priced it in Sol or whatever it is. They can just pay with a credit card and you get the crypto and it's over. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everything on Phantasma is built to be that way. It's kind of sad that it isn't. The problem is that they don't have a lot of money to pay people, like exchanges, right? All these other projects, they have they'll make 1 billion coins and they'll keep 500 million for themselves, and then they can hand those out to this exchange or that exchange. Here, have $100,000 here, do this or whatever. And they don't have any technology that's worth talking about. They just have money that they can hand out or whatever. Whereas Phantasma has enormous technology that none of the others have. They're years ahead on NFTs, but they have such tiny little amounts of inflation, and they put their whole they've hedged their whole bet or whatever on just having the best NFT technology, right? And there's no room for like a marketing budget, or some of these exchanges want like $100,000, and that wouldn't even be for something as technologically complex as a mainnet token for this like really advanced new blockchain, right? So yeah, I mean, there are some technological hurdles that are, I believe, being conquered right now that are just going to make this explode. And I mean, that's why to me it's so important to try to get people in early, and why I have such an urgency in my videos. And I'm so glad that you're talking about that too, how important it is to bring other musicians in, because we need a scene. We're starting to have one and we're reaching growth, but everybody needs to get in here and be ready when that money comes in, right? We want to be ready as soon as the credit cards and the mass adoption occurs. We want ours to be in front of the people. I remember right when your big NFT launched, your first one, right? And all of that, a bunch of people were relisting or reminting their NFTs, so they'd be right at the top right when that came out, and there was all this attention all of a sudden. And that's what we need to do. We need to strike while the iron's hot and be ready, because it's not like something you can just flip a switch and say, hey, I'm going to do this today. You might have to learn a little bit, figure out how to use the wallet and the site, and then look into like how people are doing their descriptions and that kind of thing. And yeah, but I mean, as far as fans, it should be easy. There should be no barriers to entry for fans. That's exactly right, and that is where we're headed. And fortunately, we can do that in a way that will never be possible on Ethereum, because I mean, we have like 2-second block times and all that. I mean, it'll be instantaneous purchases, and the people truly will not need to know. That's how it's going to work with mobile games on Phantasma. I mean, the NFT thing will just be in the background, like you're saying. I think the reason why we have to talk about NFTs constantly and all of that, like you were saying, is because it's such a hassle on existing things. But with Phantasma, even though we're just getting started, it actually has the power and the capabilities to make this something that is completely seamless and almost instantaneous in the background. And yeah, so we've been talking for an hour. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people about that auction? And that is in the description. If people are watching live on YouTube, you can take that link and go over to that auction. That ends in just a few hours. And yeah,
I mean, really, really, this is just all an experiment right now for us to figure out who is buying NFTs on Ghost Market right now. We know you are, Jesse.
I am. Yeah. I love getting these first ones. I feel like these first ones are just like a part of history. They're going to be so valuable.
The thing is that as more people believe in this, it's gonna grow. It's gonna take some time. I think that we just have to kind of do what we're doing right now and keep the experiment going and try out different types of NFTs. And I think the next NFT I drop will be another one of one on Ghost Market.
Very
I'm
cool.
gonna be experimenting, dropping more NFTs on other platforms as well. I don't know when, but bottom line is, I really, really love what Ghost Market is doing, and I think that Ghost Market can be the future of this. And I think it's the most interesting platform right now. And I think it needs to be nurtured. It's like a flower that we're watering right now. And
absolutely,
it's like fertile ground that we're planting seeds in right now. And we have to just support the scene, I think, to help it grow. And the people that are involved in it right now are it. It's like, imagine Ghost Market as eBay, but we're the only ones on it. So now here we are. We got this flea market. We've got our tables. We've got our socks we're selling. It's like the swap meet at Crenshaw and Slauson back in the day. And the thing is, there's no customers yet. So I think we all have to become the first customers. The same people with tables at the flea market have to go over to the pickle dude and to the dude that's selling, deli sandwiches or whoever. There's different merchants. Some people are selling crypto art. Some people are selling singer-songwriter NFTs. Some people are, I think that's the start. That's the only way. If the actual people that are building this community right now don't participate in the auctions and buy these NFTs, why would anybody else want to buy them? Where's the market? Is there a market? You know what I mean? Like, is it literally a ghost market?
Well,
or is it a market?
We've had some good sales. We've got some good auctions right now that are going on with like Biscodini Trio and Robot Nature that are getting a lot of action. I keep fighting with people on those, and I know that yours is going to do well after this. Yeah, I mean,
listen, I'm in. I'm going to start bidding on auctions and buying stuff as well, because I'm going to put my soul where my mouth is.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah, I mean, we need to all do that. I mean, that's just it. I think I said that in my first video. I mean, like, to get people involved, it might involve buying their NFT, I mean, because we have to kickstart this. The art people, they've had a long time to get to where they are. We are really just starting this with music, and people aren't even sure, if this is, something that is going to last or what. They're wondering, oh, a music NFT, is that for real? And when you're starting something that's new like that, yeah, I mean, you can't expect that it's going to be crazy right away. You do have a few people who are like sort of the pampered pets or whatever, the billionaires like Blau or whatever. But I don't know, man. I feel like there's an increasing uncoolness to all of that. The idea of being this pampered pet of a billionaire on their personal platform, and then everybody follows this like cult of personality of this one artist because they're cool because the billionaire said so, and I think it's like the opposite of what we're doing here, where this is truly coming from the grassroots. We've got independent artists like you, and just, the little guy can make it here. And, even if it's a few $100, well, that few $100 might turn into 2,000 or whatever. And so I feel like that's why we have artists who are, like you, and people who really, have something, to say, and something that, people recognize as talent or whatever. I'm not trying to diss other artists, but I feel like, there's just this cult of personality out there a lot of times, and it's not very real. And I feel like what we're building here is real, and, it has an authenticity like your music has. And yeah, I mean, we just, some of us aren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth or whatever, and we don't have access to millions of dollars, but we're going to build something anyway, because, we're just tenacious, and that's what we're going to do, because we realize it's possible. And well, I feel like, sorry.
I think the thing is also the same way, inspiration attracts inspiration, money attracts money. And I think, the more action and the more transactions occurring, the more people are going to start getting involved and sniffing around. Everybody wants to make money, and artists have had a really hard time this past year with no touring. And listen, nobody's getting paid correctly off the streaming services. We all know that. We could use another stream of income. We could use another revenue stream. Why not? And it's there. It's a lot of the material that we're using to build these NFTs is content that we've been sitting on for years, that we hadn't decided yet what to do with it. And this is perfect. This is it right here. This makes sense. And that's why I gotta say, the past 2 weeks I've been immersed in this. Every phone call, I pretty much stopped everything that I'm doing right now to concentrate on this. And you know, part of me is like, I don't want to tell anybody about NFTs. I want to be the only one to know. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, if I'm the only one that knows, nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
It's
just
just
it.
gonna be
Yeah.
me. It's just gonna be me and you on Ghost Market buying everybody's NFTs
Yeah. No, that's, I mean,
with
that's the
with
whole trick,
nobody
is
to sell
bringing more people in.
with nobody to resell them to.
Exactly. Yeah. But
Sorry.
no, I mean, I think we're in the process of building something pretty incredible. And I mean, at this point, I cannot even keep up with the onboarding. It's actually kind of sad. And this whole week is going to be just delegating responsibilities for me, because I don't have time to keep up with the amount of people that are coming in, and big people too. I mean, it's crazy. I've had some pretty big names that I've had to, like, unfortunately, not spend as much time with as I have. So I'm bringing in some other people to help deal with all of this. And yeah, I mean, it's getting hardcore. And music takes a while, like a music release. You can't, especially for a big artist, there's a lot of moving parts, and they got to do legal research and all these things. But believe me, people are coming. There's definitely some big things happening, but it's a little slower to move. It's not like an artist where there's one person who can make an artwork in a day and post it or whatever. You know that,
I'm
obviously.
almost happy about the fact that we're still in the beginning stages. Like right now, we're kind of like putting up the streamers and throwing the balloons, taping balloons to the wall right now, getting people
Exactly.
ready for the party.
Mhm.
And even though we're participating in it, it's like it's very it's still it's not a beta format, but it is in a sense. So it's
Yeah.
going to continually evolve. And the thing is, I can't stress that enough. It's the beginning. We're so very much at the start. So this is the
100%.
time to get in on it right now. I would think, early bird
Mhm.
gets the worm.
That's right. Yeah,
So
I mean, the more artists, the better. But yeah, I mean, at some point, it's just, we're going to reach a tipping point where people are going to realize, hey, you can do NFTs without the environmental problems, without the gas fees, and without the long waits of confirming this or confirming that and everything else. And yeah, I mean, I think that it's just going to hit that point at some point where everyone's going to say, hey, Ghost Market just is the place for NFTs. And it's so great that, the music scene especially is really happening on Ghost Market. And I hope that we can make it the place for music and kind of take it over, because I feel like the tokenomics of Soul are so great. And so many communities have been left out of, the whole crypto thing, right? And I know when we talk about music, I mean, most music people I talk to don't know much about crypto. I don't know what it is, but we're not the kind of group that tends to deal with crypto a lot. I don't know, maybe we're just like scatterbrained in our own world or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we can get music people involved in a, like, an early adoption kind of scenario where we can build something sustainable together, and all profit. Yeah, I mean, it's just an exciting time to be involved, and I really appreciate you talking to me. Is there anything else before we end this? Or anything you want to
I
say to
just
the fans or
want to
anyone
say,
bidding out there?
people are apprehensive. I'm apprehensive of the unknown. It's a human trait. We all are. So it's something new, but it's definitely something very interesting. And I think it's something that artists need to at least do their homework on. It's not necessarily for everybody. I don't think the NFT space is for every single artist. It depends. It's just but I think uh it's possible for every artist to create an NFT, me personally. And you know, my mind is just, I've been brainstorming so hard. I have ideas for all my favorite artists besides myself. I mean, there's certain NFT concepts that work perfectly for me, but might not work, that may work for A, B, or C. And dude, the possibilities are endless. They're super endless. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's
Mhm.
exciting times, man.
All right. And Eclipse, you're going to be on the radio soon. Are you going to talk about NFTs, or you just play music?
No, we've been dabbling and mentioning the NFTs and the sales that we've
Nice.
been doing, and Ghost Market. So
Wow. Thank you, man. I got to tune in. That's so cool. I didn't even know that. So you guys, people have been talking about Ghost Market
well, we've been
on
talking. Yeah,
Sirius.
we're just putting the words out there. So but just from the last couple of weeks, that what me and Bill have been doing, all of our friends have been hitting us up, and every post that we do, there's more and more people trying to find out more information. So we're doing our part in trying to grow the market, but
Very
just
cool.
again, like the potential is great. You know, the idea that, because not only are we both artists, we're both collectors, you know, like Bill mentioned. So it's like from both standpoints, it's like on one side, it's cool to be able to get these, you know, one of a kind or you know, scarce NFTs as a collector. On the other side, it's great as an artist to, you know, to make money and to continue to make money if these things are resold and resold. And then the third part is just if you decide to sit on the currency and watch it grow as an investment, you know. So there's so many different avenues of how you can look at the NFT of just something to be part of. That's really cool. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
yeah.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
everything.
Everybody go check out that link. The auction link is in the description for this YouTube video. Thanks, Ill Bill. Thanks, DJ Eclipse. Hope you
Yeah.
guys have a good rest of the day. And
You too.
I hope that auction does really well.
Yeah.
Likewise,
Great
Jesse.
talking to
Good
you.
looking.
Take
Yeah.
care.
All right, bye.
Bye.